Instantly you win airtime or data. So that's where we start with giving the good things. Then you'll get into a draw. And this draw could see you winning every week. 4 people are winning 35,000 shillings, and it goes towards school fees. Direct to school fees. Doesn't pass go, doesn't collect 200 from to the school. Step up and shine.
Straight up like that.
Yeah.
How is that, Dr.
That's good. My daughter just did KPC exams. So, asante sana.
Kabisa.
Tunangoja results alafu tumpeleke na kiwi.
Very good.
Junior school.
That is Dr. Louis Machogu. He is the president of the Pharmaceutical Society of Kenya. He's our guest this Health Friday. And to welcome him, CT has the day's proverb from Namibia.
Yes, this is our final proverb from the Republic of Namibia. As soon as a monkey has climbed a tree, it starts abusing from its elevated position.
Say again.
As soon as a monkey has climbed a tree, it starts abusing from its elevated position.
As soon as a monkey climbs a tree, it starts abusing from its elevated position. Dr. What's the interpretation of this proverb?
Very profound. Sasa sijui who is being called a monkey, but what's actually, it's actually very apt for me because I'll take the angle of professionals. Society gives us the mandate to serve them as professionals, but we go up there and sometimes we get carried away. So I think I understand that proverb and I'm challenged by it.
You forget your true calling and the trust that's been bestowed on you.
Yeah. It's actually a social contract. It's the public who have said we cannot treat each other. Let there be a profession called pharmacy. Let them deal with, be experts in medicine and take the responsibility.
And what they tell us, we shall follow.
Yeah. And can they also be accountable and do the right thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's very true. So the Pharmaceutical Society of Kenya, what is it?
Yeah, so thank you for this opportunity. The Pharmaceutical Society of Kenya is the umbrella body of all pharmacists practicing in this country. There are 5,000 pharmacists whom the country has registered to practice the profession, the noble profession of pharmacy. We are charged with policy advocacy, public awareness, what is the role of a pharmacist. Many people don't know what the role of a pharmacist is. That's what we do. We create awareness. We are available on our website is www.psk.or.ke. We have a YouTube channel. We have a lot of awareness campaigns, medical camps, training of our pharmacists, upskilling them, linking them with international standards, WHO. That's what we do, and ensuring that standards. Also, we uphold the code of ethics. Because a profession is not a profession, if they don't abide to a code of ethics.
By some code of ethics.
Yes.
Who's a pharmacist?
It's a good question. So a pharmacist is a healthcare champion. I would say it's a pharmacist is that person, that intimate person you work with in that healthcare journey. If you want to get well, you want to stay away from an illness. Let me use a personal example. I remember I've asked for permission from my dad, when he retired in 2000. Unfortunately, he had an illness, a chronic illness. At that time, I was studying at the University of Nairobi, and he had hypertension. I'm saying he had because he doesn't have it anymore. And I remember him worrying, what will I do? How will I afford this medicine? Because his employer used to pay for him his medicine. At that time, it was 10,000 Kenya shillings. He's retired. His pension is not even, that's almost like 20% of his pension. So he's worried, and it's actually even making his case even worse. I remember him reaching out to me and asking me, I know you've gone to study pharmacy. Is there someone there who can help me with this condition? And I was able to onboard him on a program with one of my lecturers. So a pharmacist who sits down with you at the primary level. What did the consultant specialist say? Have you understood? What challenges are you having? So the patient will be able to say something like, oh, I didn't understand this medicine. Or you realize, okay, so let's tell the doctor. And we work as a team. So a pharmacist is that coach who helps you understand what are the treatment goals, where are you going, what do you want, where are you now, what's preventing you from getting there, and we work with you and to your road to recovery. And that's at the primary health level. Yeah.
Okay.
Pharmacists are also involved from drug discovery, to drug supply, importing it, manufacturing it, and also availing it to the patient at the last mile. Yeah.
Are they involved at that level? Because, look, when we think about going to access healthcare, you do your triage, you go to the specialist, they see whatever's going on, you may be sent to the lab, and then you come back to the doctor, they do their thing, and they tell you, go to pharmacy. The interaction is, well, this is what the doctor said, here is your medicine, let's keep it moving. There really is little to none interaction beyond that where my drugs, let's go. So what I hear you saying is that it ought to be, or are there instances, unless you speak you seek the specialist care from a pharmacist, from the pharmacy, where would that interaction then take place? Because usually we take what the doctor has said in terms of a diagnosis, and then we hear that the dispensing of medication or treatment then comes from pharmacy.
Yeah.
So where does this interaction take place?
Actually, the interaction is that's a very good observation. The interaction happens at the point of care. You went, saw a specialist or a general practitioner, and you are given a prescription. That's where it starts. Because someone needs to interpret that prescription. Someone needs to understand, are you taking other medication? Are you even the right patient for this medication? Yeah. However, there's been a challenge. And this challenge comes from colonial times. Yeah. We had a situation where when the colonialists left, when they were here, they didn't allow professionals to be trained. So we didn't have pharmacists trained. Yeah. Now, because of that, we started training pharmacists in this country under a presidential declaration in 1972. That's when now pharmacists started being trained. So the numbers were always low. When I graduated in 2005, we were only 1,900 pharmacists. Yeah. Right now, we are at 5,000, and they're actually unemployed pharmacists. The problem has been, because there are few pharmacists, what the doctor had to do, everything. Prescribe for you, tell you everything, but now, the doctor doesn't have, we are many of us. The doctor doesn't have time to counsel, and that's the case.
On how to use the medicine.
How to use the medicine, because actually theirs is just to identify the issue that you have, identify the medicine, and work with the pharmacist to give you, because we're all working, the patient is in the middle. So there's a doctor here, there's a pharmacist, and maybe the lab, because we're all meant to work as a team. But because of that, maybe in the past there used to be few pharmacists in the country. Now that is not the case. So we are saying the case now is, you as a patient, can we move from the old way of just saying, here is a prescription,
give me the medicine,
kenye doctor amesema, that's all.
Stop arguing with the doctor.
Come give the medicine, sema shida zako. There are patients who come and give you the prescription, they know very well they'll not take the medicine. And they feel embarrassed even coming back to the doctor and say, I didn't take the medicine. So they lie. They say, I took the medicine. But the problem, the same patients come a few years down the line, they are having their leg amputated because they didn't comply with the medicine.
It's interesting that you say that, because again, it's usually that this is what the doctor has said, so the pharmacist will dispense according to the doctor's instructions. My mother is a pharmacist, and I would see her at the pharmacy. People would come with a prescription, and doctor has prescribed 1, 2, 3. And because of the
in a handwriting that only a pharmacist
can read. I used to also ask. But then she would also suggest, and she would say, you know what, this is your medication. But because of my understanding of pharmacology, how about I ask you to also add some vitamin B? Or how about I say you add this to this, because I understand what's happening here. Is that what we're talking about? That the interaction then can be more complete, because then you understand the makeup of medicine and the work that it will actually do in the body, as opposed to, here is 2 pills, take them 3 times a day.
Actually, I would say it's spot on. Patients actually shortchanging themselves when they come to the pharmacist, and all they say is, just give me as is. You're leaving so much on the table. That pharmacist is able to even make intervention, because remember, this medicine could have drug interactions, like you're saying. There's a medicine we need to add, number one. There's a medicine we need to remove. There's a medicine we need to stop, and maybe remove and replace, or medicine just stop, because now it's no longer in use. You find patients who've been taking medicine that are causing ulcer, a painkiller that's causing ulcer, and they've been living with ulcers, but they've been taking the medicine because it works. No one has because I got a prescription. You never got to spend 5 to 10 minutes, which is the recommended time you should spend with your pharmacist.
But let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Then the pharmacist, even in a hospital, should be behind the counter. Should they also have a booth so that when you leave the doctor, you go to the pharmacist before you actually go to where the medicine is dispensed? Because in all honesty, when you are at that counter, there are very many of you. That pharmacist will have the same challenge as the doctor. He will not have the time to explain. So, but when you are sitting...
It's a consultation. Or
exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
The doctor has time because it's you and the doctor. We don't have that with the pharmacy. Because the practice that I see in hospital is an assembly line.
Next.
You hand it over, go and sit down over there and wait.
You'll be called.
Siti Muga.
Take this one 2 times a 3.
Any questions?
This one 10 times a day. This
With a
one
lot of water.
lots of, in fact, plenty of water. You especially. Yes. So that opportunity is missed.
Yeah. That's the old design of the assembly line, like what you're saying.
Is it old? But it still exists.
No, we are actually seeing it moving.
Like where?
So let me give you an example. Go today to MTRH in
Moi Teaching and
Referral Hospital in Eldoret, or Kilifi County Hospital. Yeah, let me use public
we have
hospitals.
Been to Kilifi Public Hospital, so tell us.
Yeah, the county hospital.
We are listening.
Even Coast General, where I also did my internship. Yeah, you'll find there are specialist pharmacists, first of all, who do ward rounds. Yeah, so you've been admitted to a hospital.
You're under a certain regime of medication,
yes,
or treatment.
You have an illness, you've been prescribed medicine. There should be a pharmacist who goes with your treatment sheet and see what is the progress you are on. If you're not getting that, you need to demand.
This is absolutely new.
Yeah, it is actually happening. And I'm saying public hospitals so that even the private ones can say, what are they doing? Yeah. So the public should demand, for this service because they are there.
You know,
Yeah.
I will pause. You're saying that a pharmacist is supposed to do this and they are allowed by even the law.
Yes.
Because it sounds to me like a pharmacist is also participating in the prescription.
Yeah, it is called drug selection. Because this pharmacist has been, as we have just heard, that the pharmacist also has been trained in the pharmacotherapeutics. Yeah, they understand this patient. They actually clerk the patient and find out what are you on. What are they look at the entire notes and work as a team. Because it's about outcomes. Create a treatment plan. Right when you are in the inpatient. Yeah. So you have clinical pharmacists. That's what they are called. And they are there in Moi Teaching and Referral. They are there in Kilifi County. And even Coast General and many other hospitals. Yeah.
The many things.
Let's start there.
Okay, sorry.
And the Pharmacy and Poisons Board is a regulator that gives them that right to be able to practice at that level. Yeah. So they're actually registered to practice.
I'm asking that. It's because of what we are used to. Now, when you go to a pharmacy and the person starts telling you, we're changing this and the other, you always feel this guy is either he's in business. He's the one who is selling me the medicine. So he's basically changing. He's changing what the doctor has recommended for me so that he can make an extra buck out of it. Or because he doesn't have this medicine here, he don't want to send me elsewhere. So he's giving me something that is a substitute that may not necessarily work as well as my expert doctor recommended for me. So you're saying that actually a pharmacist should be involved in this
drug selection.
What a doctor, after they sit down with you, they identify what the issue is, what their prescription is. I'm prescribing this kind of treatment, and then you also now come in and say, all right, so understanding your history, your body type, your everything, what else you're on and all, this is for this treatment that the doctor has prescribed. This is the actual product.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's actually the doctor prescribes for you water. Now you come to the pharmacy. Actually, the pharmacist is standing there with the doctor in the ward round, for example. Okay. But in the community now, at retail level, the prescription came from somewhere else.
Yes.
So when you come at the pharmacy, the first thing you should do is first look at the credential of the person who's, because there are also many people out there who are masquerading to be pharmacists.
We'll come to that.
So you should be able to, every pharmacy should present their credentials. They actually even have a photo. I mean, if you're entering an Uber and you actually look and say, are you the driver? Before you even are served by that person who says they are a pharmacist, ask, are you a pharmacist? And at the Pharmacy and Poisons Board website, you can actually see their photo. Even it's the same thing that is there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But a president.
News. Am I sharing news?
It's not news. What you're saying makes perfect sense.
Okay.
But who beyond, apart from you, who else has this knowledge?
Who knows this?
Things? Yes. I mean, in all honesty, even those who are listening, how many of you know that this thing actually is supposed to happen?
Actually, it would be nice to hear Paul from the listeners.
Let's see by comment on our YouTube and Facebook. Those who are watching the live stream,
and that's why we are here.
Do you actually know? Have you come across what we are hearing from the president of the Pharmaceutical Society of Kenya, Dr. Louis Machogu? In terms of how pharmacists should and how they have started working. Now that we have more and more pharmacists being trained and being registered in the country, are we seeing that? So once you go to this pharmacy, you're saying we've identified that the person that you're dealing with there is an actual professional.
A professional.
Is the person behind the counter only a pharmacist?
It's a good question. So in the country, there are, at the patient-facing end, there are 3 people who are allowed to handle medicines, because medicines in this country are scheduled. There's narcotics and controlled medicines. That is only a pharmacist who's meant to handle that medicine, because there's some training and competence, because someone can actually abuse it and become dependent on it, or even you misuse it, or take it and go and use it for another purpose. We've seen it's happened. So the next schedule is prescription only. So you get a prescription and someone is able to dispense that. Then you have pharmacist only. Then you have pharmacy only. A pharmacy only will be handled by a pharmacy technician under the supervision of a pharmacist, so that you have access. There are places where pharmacists aren't there. I used to work in Samburu. You have, in the offshoots, you have pharmacy technicians. So then you all collaborate. Because remember, it's for the patient. Then the last one is Dukala, in the supermarket. You'll find some medicines, Panadol, and things like that. So those are the 3 kind of people. So there's a pharmacist, there's a specialist pharmacist, there's a pharmacist, pharmaceutical technologist, and the ILO.
So this let's start from in a hospital. When you told
who will you find?
Enda pale kwa pharmacy. Who will you find?
You need to find a
Hospital
pharmacist.
Sestis.
You need to find a pharmacist.
That's a pharmacist that will be there.
You need to find a pharmacist.
But do we find pharmacists?
So we are finding some hospitals like cutting corners. And they give you someone. So they might you may find they have a pharmacy technician, as is known by WHO.
Okay.
Or sometimes you find they're not even someone who has been moving around in the hospital. They've been cleaning around here, and they're hearing mbili mara tatu. Then they put that person there because they're cutting costs.
Or someone who can read the doctor's handwriting.
Yes. They will pretend that they can read. But yes. Please.
In what crazy circumstance? Well, I guess it's not so crazy, because if it's something that can be documented, it happens. That you would have some random person. Okay, you've been here, you've heard the word tetracycline four times.
Amoxicillin.
And you know that if the diagnosis is bacterial infection, we know, okay, we can give amoxicillin. This person is then allowed to be behind the counter and dispense medication based on prescription without an understanding of what's really happening. And that's okay. I don't
Actually, Oko, you're right. And it's actually sad. It's a sad state of affairs, and it's not where we want to be as a nation. But we have the role is 2-pronged. There's the public need to also ask, who is this who's serving you? Because you're the one who's taking your patronage to this place. Who is this who's serving you? Do they have the qualifications and competencies to be able to serve you? And you're seeing someone who we've actually been seeing cases where a patient comes to you has been taking liver antibiotics, diabetes medication. They've been taking the same medicine, maybe like if you've been prescribed for Desani, you are given, because they don't know it's another brand called Aquamist, they gave you both Aquamist and Desani at the same time. So this patient has been taking double dose of, and that's why they're collapsing. Their diabetes is not getting better. So it's very critical. That's why we're saying at that point where you are receiving your medicine, discover first who is this who's serving you.
So we're going step by step in my question. So in a hospital, that pharmacy, I should find a pharmacist.
You need to find a pharmacist. All level 4 hospitals upwards
and above,
you should find a pharmacist. Level 2, 3, you need to find a pharmaceutical technician who then works under supervision of a pharmacist from level 4.
So there'll be a pharmacist from level 4 somewhere, but then this
they all work as a team.
Technician is also trained, the KMTC trained and such, right? Okay. In these things that we find in our estates, 24-hour pharmacy.
Yes.
24-hour pharmacy.
Yes.
We can't have 5,000 pharmacists working in public hospitals and working 24 hours in a public pharmacy. So who are we finding in these 24-hour pharmacies that are across the country?
You'll be, and we need to challenge our members of public, and I think I want this to be participatory.
People are commenting.
Go around and look at your favorite 10 pharmacies in your neighborhood. Go and do a poll. The person, they need to give you the credentials. Confirm. You'll find out of every 10. You'll find out of every 10, 2 might be pharmacists. 2 will be pharmacists. You'll find 4 technicians, and the rest you'll find are quacks.
But let me ask you.
No, quacks. Quacks, they have no training.
Like me
whatsoever.
Now, I go and
because you have the money, you started a pharmacy.
And
maybe there was a need. To be honest, there could have been a need.
But El Presidente, who is allowed to carry a license?
And who licenses?
Yes.
So, City, that's a good question. Who licenses is the Pharmacy and Poisons Board.
Okay.
They give a license to, according to the schedules that I've just given, they give a license to a pharmacist and a pharmaceutical technician.
They both get?
They all get licenses according to their scopes of practice. The same way, and actually right now we have a 3rd license of a specialist pharmacist. The one I told you who is in the ward rounds, who's working with the neurosurgeon.
Top level.
Like that, Because we need career progression, and so that we can serve the country. The way globally, we should not all go to South Africa or US because of this. We need to have competencies there locally. So these are the people who are licensed to serve Kenyans, yes.
What's the difference between a pharmacy and a chemist?
A pharmacy and a chemist. It's just terminology.
An apothecary.
An apothecary. And nowadays you're seeing chains of pharmacies coming. It's just a language that they use. And what is happening with the Pharmacy and Poisons Board to help us differentiate the levels of practice? The Pharmacy and Poisons Board, together with the Pharmaceutical Society of Kenya, we are working to differentiate pharmacists, where you can actually, to make it easier for you to see a pharmacist, and you'll be seeing a green cross there. You are going to a pharmacy, you see a green cross, at least it alerts you that there's a pharmacist there. But even when you go inside, demand to see the credentials so that you're able to see who is this who's serving you, and are they serving you as per their levels of competence.
Wow.
Because remember, Eric, let me just add something. The constitution of the country under Article 43 demands that you need to have the highest level of healthcare. But go further to Article 46. It says you have consumer rights. No one should, actually even that pharmacist, if they mishandled you in a way or the other, of the technician or that person who's masquerading, you have a right to seek redress from the Pharmacy and Poisons Board, and PSK is there to help you on that matter.
The president of the Pharmaceutical Society of Kenya, Dr. Louis Machogu, is our guest on this Health Friday, and we're asking you to share with us your thoughts, everything that he's told us today in terms of what we should expect from pharmacies. Is this news to you, or is it something that you knew to be happening. And have you experienced it?
Have you experienced it?
We're seeing very many comments. We'll be sampling them. Ndu, fly us into the break, please, with Emirates.
Well, you know, we all love a holiday, but with a long flight ahead, you need plenty to keep you entertained. So once you see the endless entertainment on board Emirates, my friend, you might wish your flight was a little bit longer. So imagine this. You get on board, you sit back, you relax, and you choose from up to 5,000 channels. Where are you going? Anyway, yes, you heard that, right? It could be the latest blockbuster out of Hollywood or a comedy box or even live sports. And you can watch it all on the biggest screens in the sky. Or if music is your thing, you can create your own playlist from your favorite artists or good old classics. You get so much more on Emirates Economy. Find out more at emirates.com.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.